Being the Apple fanboy that I am, I will admit it, their stuff just works. I bought an Apple Vision Pro, an eye-wateringly priced monitor that you fucking strap to your face. You probably know this already. I made 2 videos on it. The first video was more or less a first impressions. The second video was more of a review where I dug into the pros and cons of the Vision Pro. And I really went hard on all of the gripes that I had with the bugs and the glitches the Vision Pro had, leaving you, unfortunately, on somewhat of a cliffhanger as to whether or not I was going to return it. Well, I did. I returned it. Between its abysmal low-light performance and the weird technical issues I was having, it stumped all of the Apple techs. I decided it was too unpolished, too first generation for me to justify keeping around. So I returned it and went on living my life. Strangely, though, I found myself really missing it in a few certain situations. So a few days later, I bought another one. I bought the Apple Vision Pro again. I am a movie junkie. I have been as long as I can remember. I love going to the movies. I go to the movies by myself all the time. I love taking people with me, but I'll go by myself if people can't come. I just saw Dune 2 for the second time. I saw it in IMAX. If you haven't seen it in IMAX, go see it in IMAX. It's amazing. But if I can't catch a movie at the theater for whatever reason, maybe I just want to chill on my couch with my dog, take a load off and watch TV. I'm blessed because I have this. This big ass TV is the Samsung frame, and it's a gorgeous, brilliant TV that even recognizes motion. I didn't turn anything on. You have heard many, many times through many reviews how good the screens on the Apple Vision Pro are. But there are 2 reasons outside of the screens as to why I think Apple Vision Pro does entertainment so well. Number 1, the speakers are insane. The audio quality coming out of those weird speakers, those weird tiny speakers, is simply just wizardry. Some warlock at Apple invented those speakers. They sound incredible. Number 2, yes, the Samsung frame is a brilliant freaking TV. It looks amazing, but it's fixed. It's fixed to the wall. And as a dad, every once in a while, I'll come upstairs and it's like, finished a long day of working, long day editing. I just want to veg out. And my kid is up here watching one of those kid shows where you're like, I love that he loves it, but I would rather stab my eyes out than watch this. So I've got really nowhere to go. But with the Apple Vision Pro, you can take those brilliant screens and you can take them anywhere. So when I come upstairs and I sit on this couch and Henry comes and puts his head on me and we can just both veg out, relax. I can throw on the Apple Vision Pro and I can do it here, but I could also do it outside on the incredibly comfy outside lawn furniture. It's just like the best day ever. This is my workstation. This is where I shoot. This is where I edit. I film the videos. I edit the videos. It's all right here. My workstation is an M1 Max MacBook Pro. I freaking love this laptop. Now, in order to make it work for what I do, I have it plugged in into a Thunderbolt dock from CalDigit. It's amazing. I can do everything right here. But the piece de resistance is this massive 37-inch, 39-inch ultra-wide LG monitor. I freaking love it. If you've never used an ultra-wide monitor to work, once you do, you'll never want to go back. And that's kind of the point. I don't want to go back. And so for me to use the ultra-wide, I got to sit here. Yes, I can unplug the dock and take the laptop with me and go do work around the house so I can enjoy being in a different room, because let's be honest, sitting for 10 hours a day at the same desk gets a little monotonous, a little boring, and it kind of eats away at your soul day by day. So being able to move around, be out in the sun, and do some work is great. And for simple emails or writing down notes or writing a script, I can do that no problem. But if I want to edit, and that is a massive part of what I do, 14-inch laptop with a little teeny tiny screen where you're actually working on a timeline, it's just not enjoyable. That's where this comes in. This is now that ultra wide monitor, but bigger and more portable. The ease at which this thing can pull up my MacBook Pro and create a virtual monitor to work from is just astounding. And at least for my workflow, not having to need multiple devices to multitask is also kind of a game changer. What I would used to have to do is, if I wanted like notes up, if I wanted Epidemic Sound to grab songs from while I was editing, if I'm using Google to pull off, images or whatnot, that ultra wide monitor would slowly start to shrink because you're using more and more real estate for these separate panels. But with the Vision Pro, you have that massive panel, but then you just make other panels around. And it was so easy to grab songs, to grab images and throw them on the timeline. I just loved the workflow, and not having to bust out my iPad or my iPhone to free up the monitor was so nice. But where I really found the difference was because I wasn't using multiple devices or making my one big monitor feel cramped and cluttered with all the separate, windows and panels. Because I was using the AVP and not experiencing that, I could be in a workflow groove much longer. I will say the Vision Pro isn't perfect for editing. The things that I would do is like finishing touches. The last 20%, I would use my normal monitor for, because it was just easier to look at color or to do motion graphics or a few things like that. But if I wanted to get 80% of the way done, I could do it with this. And now I have the freedom to do it wherever I wanted. I am currently 8 hours into a 20-hour flight. I am going with my family to South Africa for kind of this killer once-in-a-lifetime trip. I'm so pumped. Although I'm not a huge fan of flying, and that's a lot of flying. I actually have like 3 different anxiety medications I take for flying to help me with it. I have severe flight anxiety. Not only that, it's not just this trip, but like once I land, like a couple weeks later I have to fly to Poland, then I have a trip to Hawaii, and then possibly 2 more international trips to the Dolomites and Nepal at the end of the year. All in all, like 100 hours doing a thing I don't really enjoy doing. Where this comes in is its ability to remove you from that reality and put you in a different one completely is unparalleled. And for the first time in my entire life, I have forgotten large chunks of this flight that I was actually flying. I actually fell asleep for the first time in my life for about 3 hours, which is just nuts. If I were to give a percentage to the reasons why I bought the Apple Vision Pro again, I'd say flying is about 90% of it. Well, we made it to South Africa. We made it safely. We are here for like a once-in-a-lifetime trip. So far, we've been here for about a week. So far, we've done 2 game drives a day. Those are like safaris. Done 2 game drives a day for the last week, and I can tell you, oh my gosh, we have seen some incredible, amazing things. We have also stayed at 2 unbelievably breathtaking lodges. There's an awesome view. I've got a decent memory, but honestly, with the concussions, it seems like my long-term memory is failing me more and more. And it's one of the reasons why I take so many photos, but I just don't know if I can do this place justice. However, and I know this might be a stretch and you might not think so, the Apple Vision Pro can get me back to this reality better than just about anything. You know how much I love taking photos. If you remember the very first video I did on the Apple Vision Pro where I unboxed it, I ended up taking a look at a photo of my dog, Henry. And seeing it for the first time in that way, with the realism, the clarity, and the size of that photo, it was so moving, it made me cry. Truly, that experience is unlike anything I've ever had, and it's unlike any other way I've ever seen another photo. And I've been able to capture pretty amazing photos thus far. Being able to relive those photos in this way is incredible. And not just the photos. You can take the realism of where you're at to the next level using the spatial video and the spatial photo on the Apple Vision Pro. You can also take it with the phone itself. However, I found that the spatial video is much more believable when you shoot it in the Apple Vision Pro. So now all of the spatial video that I've shot, I can relive that in that spatial 3D and keep reliving it for as long as I want, and that's also pretty awesome. And finally, even though this isn't one of the reasons I rebought the Apple Vision Pro, being able to share it with other people and letting them experience Apple Vision Pro for the first time and have those memories of it, it's just incredibly fun. And I was able to let our guides, Tristan and Chad, use an Apple Vision Pro for the first time, because remember, they don't sell it outside of the States. Like, nobody here at the lodge had ever seen one, and only Tristan out of everybody even knew what it was. So here's me sharing the Apple Vision Pro with them. It's really fun to watch. Yeah, the Apple Vision Pro is just an incredible tool at reliving memories in a realism that you can't just get any other way. I'm really lucky and stoked that I have it for this trip and for future trips. So there you have it. Those are my 4 reasons why I rebought the Apple Vision Pro. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please hit the like button and make sure you subscribe. I know this video came a little later than promised, but that's because when I got here, I scrapped half the video and reshot it. And between flying on big airplanes and small little bush airplanes and the game drives and having very limited time, it was a little harder to make this video. Now, I'll be back in a few weeks and I'll have another video for you then. But in the meantime, here's a video of me getting entirely way too close to a big freaking lion. Peace.